Welcome to Shining Lights. I'm Bonnie Benjamin, and we're going to take you on a trip today, a trip to Greenfield for our special guests. And our special guests are Denise Schwartz and Alex Audette. Tell us about your programs that you present, that's not the word, radio programs that you have in the Greenfield area.
Okay, so we are both working with a podcast, an audio show called Backyard Oasis. And we produce it in Greenfield Community College in their beautiful studios. It is no video, something to say right up front, it's audio only, so our guests are very comfortable when they come to talk to us about anything that is primarily related to older adults. That's how we started, right, Alex? It was when Judy Raper, who is the Associate Dean of Community Engagement for GCC, started an initiative where the college would reach out to older adults in the area because, you know, Franklin County, one of our largest demographics is older adults.
Yes.
And we got a lot of people together and we did some events, and at one point Judy said, why don't we do a podcast? And one of the things that she said I really loved was, you know, people think that podcasts are just like a lot of young people sitting around chatting. She said, but we can do this. And we were like, oh yeah, a podcast. I know I personally was like, well, I'm not really sure how to do this. I know how to talk to people. I'm not sure about the technology, but here's another chance to learn. And that's sort of what the whole community college is about, always learning.
For everyone.
For everyone.
For everyone.
So we said, okay, let's do that. Now, I hadn't met Alex yet then. We just pulled it together. We sat around. 4 people decided they would be hosts. We thought, this was in 2019, I think. And we thought, well, what are we going to call it? We came up with a beautiful name, Backyard Oasis. Oasis stands for older adults seeking, inspiring, serving.
Yeah, serving.
There we go.
Very nice.
I'll ask you to do that again later, just so we can practice.
Okay. And we got together and thought, well, what are we going to do? How are we going to do this? And we agreed that we would primarily look at a market of older adults. Of course, in an audio show, anybody can listen. But we will think about topics and guests who can address the issues of older adults and how they are not just sitting around after retirement doing nothing. They're active and creative and they're thoughtful and so on. And so we all sat down and brainstormed and came up with all of this. A big folder full of fabulous guests who have come and talked to us about what they do.
A great start. Alex, what was your part in this creation?
Oh, well, I started working at GCC in 2022 and was pretty quickly introduced to Judy, the director or associate dean of community engagement at the college, like Denise mentioned. And she's like, hey, I want to do a podcast. And the way it was sort of pitched to me was primarily being intergenerational sort of focused and like on issues facing older adults in Franklin County and particularly around technology, things like that. And I was the most natural fit as producer for the show as the AV tech at the college. And I love recording audio. And so I was just down immediately, and it took a little while to kind of get things moving, but I'm pretty sure we didn't publish until 2023, but it had been in process for a little bit until we finally were able to get some things recorded and get the main core of hosts involved, and then we just took off from there.
And you had the ability to make it happen. They had the ideas, and you had the ability to put it on the air.
Yeah, to some degree. I think I actually, the very first way this started was offering a workshop for the folks who would ultimately be the hosts of the show to learn for themselves how to record themselves, how to do audio for themselves, you know, and I still do workshops like that at the college and bring people into the studio and teach them how to do the basics of audio recording, and I really love that part of the job too. So I do have the skills, but I primarily would love for folks who come through the studio to be able to do it themselves one day.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Denise, what kind of range of topics do we have?
Well, you know, we started thinking, how are we going to do this? We were really lucky. We had someone who created a beautiful intro to all of our shows. He had a radio background. His name was Dennis Lee. And when you listen to our episodes, he introduces it in this beautiful, smooth, honeyed voice. So he sounded great. And he was in the Springfield area, so we were covering all of the valley. And we just sat down and said, what do people want to know? And we started talking about who knows who can come on, who's willing to talk. And we started with Bruce Landon, remember? Who at one point had been, I think, the executive, I don't know what his title was, long time ago, of the Springfield hockey team way back when. And he came on and he talked. And then we just talked to each other to find out, who do you know who would have a great conversational ability? Because that's important in your guest. So we've talked to people about addiction issues. We had a doctor from Greenfield who was kind of known in that area come in and do a really important conversation about that. We know that it's really important for older adults to keep moving. So we found, I'm a dancer, so I had a dance teacher come on and together we talked about the benefits of dancing, always keeping in mind that there were good things about growing older. You know, I forget the name of the organization. It was the University of Ohio, I think, in their Center for Aging, I believe, that came up with a great tagline. Aging, so cool, everybody's doing it.
Oh.
Which is really, I wish we had thought of that, right, Alex? But it's wonderful, and so that's sort of what we looked at. We're all getting older, so it's not just older adults who came on, but mostly our guests are older adults. We've had my friend who has walked the Camino de Santiago 3 times. That's the 500-mile walk or pilgrimage from France to Santiago, Spain. We've had readers, we've had writers come on and read some of their writing and then talk about their process. We've had people talk about reframing aging, which is really important. What else have we had, Alex?
We have musicians, I wouldn't say frequently, but we've had several musicians come on and perform. Dave Hayes, the Weather Nut,
Right.
he came through. Yeah, all sorts of people. Every host kind of brings their own flavor to it, and folks that they like to kind of focus on and bring in and stuff. Like one of our hosts, Christine, she's a writer herself and likes to bring in writers and publishers, and her brother's a musician, brings him in sometimes. Denise likes to cover the things she just mentioned. Dennis Lee, who we've talked about, his big focus while he was with the show was transitions and folks who went through big transitions in their life. So Bruce Landon, former hockey player, now
Owner of a hockey team.
Yeah, then goes into owning a hockey team and various other hobbies and such. So.
And how do you get your feedback from not viewers, listeners?
We don't?
Well, no, I have one really good story.
Yeah.
It's hard to get feedback. And this is something we're going to work on because we actually have an email address that listeners can use, but it's for the college.
Oh.
And so, you know, we have 4 different hosts, and usually the folks will listen to all of the episodes, but they usually listen to the ones where they know the host. And then we should have a way for them to reach all of us, but we haven't figured that out yet, but we're going to do it. But there is one thing that just happened in terms of listeners. We had a person, Dan Conlon, who is a beekeeper with his wife, Warm Colors Apiary in Deerfield. He was the president of the Massachusetts Beekeepers Association. He's very much interested in what's happening with our environment because, of course, he works with bees. This is really important. So he did 3 sessions with us. One had a great title, Where Have All the Insects Gone? Can you imagine what that is about? Remember when you were a kid and you'd go for a drive?
I think I've heard those.
Yeah, and you'd come back and your windshield was covered with dead insects. That doesn't happen that much anymore. So he's really involved in the environment. Well, I saw him the other day. He's also a personal friend of my husband and me. And he said, oh, I had somebody knock on the door the other day. That's not unusual because customers come to get honey and so on. This person walks in, they start to talk, and he said, I heard this podcast or something in which you were talking about the environment in Queens and blah, blah. And he said, and I thought, that's a person I need to speak with. So he drove from New York to Deerfield to knock on the door and talk to him. And I feel like we did our job.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
The
amazing.
word has spread.
But somebody took action because they learned something, and that's
Yeah.
what we try to do, right,
Yeah.
Alex? We want people to
Yeah,
walk away with something.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, it's less about the word spreading and more about that person who heard it, feeling moved to go and engage with it further. By, in this case, finding the host.
Yeah.
I don't want to go one more minute without you explaining to us, how are we going to tune in to listen? How do we do it?
Oh, it's wherever you get your podcasts. So our listeners are primarily on Apple Podcasts, but we're on Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, all those major things.
And what is it? What are we going to, once we get there, what's the title that I'm going to search for?
Search for Backyard Oasis Podcast. Yep, that'll get you there.
And, recently, it has just been within the last month or two that we have been having the capability of streaming.
I love it.
So this is a whole new thing for AOTV.
Congratulations.
So, well, I think we'll be fine. But it takes some getting used to. You're used to dialing up on a TV or something or another radio. Some people don't even have radios.
I know.
So that's a whole different system. So once again, tell me what to do. Alex, you did it so well.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us again.
You go, if you're a podcast listener, just go wherever you get your podcast. It's most likely there. But Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and YouTube are the primary. Or you can go directly to our RSS feed. It's Backyard Oasis RSS. If you search for that on any search engine, it'll get you there. But once you're...
What's that again?
It's an RSS feed. It's a pretty common podcast hosting service.
I just wanted to make sure people heard that again.
If you just Google Backyard Oasis Podcast, it'll all come up wherever you prefer.
There you go.
I want you to keep talking, but seriously, we found this out, if you only search for Backyard Oasis, you get patio furniture.
Yeah, it'll take you to a lot of more recently AI generated, increasingly AI generated
So
patio
Backyard Oasis Podcast.
That word podcast
it's
will be
pretty
very
key.
important.
Yeah, pretty key.
It'll be very important. So how have you found the word to spread that you're there? How do you have new listeners? Or don't you? You just take what happens.
We do ask our guests to sort of promote the show however they are comfortable and through their usual channels when they release it. But the growth has just been organic listenership, kind of finding the show primarily. And we don't have a huge listenership by any stretch, but since when we began, it is just increasing.
It's growing.
Yeah, only growing.
Maybe we have the map that we could show them that shows where people are listening around the world.
Yeah, I don't have it with me this second. But
Yeah,
it
we
is,
could send that to you.
Yeah, it is. We do have some global reach in some interesting way. Yeah, for Australia, we got some listeners.
It's like during auction time, and we have guests from Africa or
Right.
California, and we go, how did they find us?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I
Which
think
is wonderful.
Yeah, I think we tag every episode with some of the topics that are covered, and so Judy, one of her shows is Spilling the Tea. She does a lot of like reality show talk. So I tag reality TV and Real Mormon Wives Lives or whatever shows they're watching, and so folks who might be like Mormon Wives podcast, there's a small chance they might find Backyard Oasis. And I think that's how we get some of our listenership. But primarily, I think it's just organic growth of people in the region kind of finding the show. Yeah.
Now, do you reach out not only by sound, do you reach out like going to senior centers and telling them how to tune in and what things we talk about and what resources they want to bring?
It's a good idea.
Well, we have started doing that. I know one of our hosts is going to, I think it's the Northfield Senior Center. The Sunderland Women's Club has asked me to come and talk about it at one of their meetings. I think we will be doing more of that because you just gave us that idea again. Thank you so much.
But that would be important. She has some it's like the Greenfield Senior Center.
Absolutely.
Lovely new facility, big, and has so many opportunities that I think that
Yeah.
would be a good one for.
Yeah, I gotta say, I think like the show, I do think it has primarily sort of reaches seniors and appeals to seniors, but I really do think it has an intergenerational reach. Like every episode we do genuinely interests me, and I think that would apply to a lot of folks my age and younger as well. So yeah, it isn't just older adults who might enjoy the show, I guess would be my only extra stipulation on that.
That's right. Anyone can listen.
Anyone can listen.
Anyone can listen and receive some information.
Yeah, absolutely.
It always happens that way. So, do you have a vision for the future? Do you have a vision for the future?
I just want to
Oh,
continue.
I know. Another good question.
Well, we are going to have our 100th episode very soon. And if you start reading about podcasts, everybody in the world wants to have a podcast now.
Yes.
And you'll find, I think it was Judy who mentioned that some people have 10 episodes of a podcast and then they're like, okay, I'm done. It's hard to get your listeners to grow.
To keep going and going.
I mean,
and
you schedule guests, you do this. It's a lot of work and we're all volunteers.
Yes.
But we're reaching 100 episodes and I honestly feel like that's a milestone.
Absolutely.
It is. And I think
We hope we get invited.
Oh yeah, we're going to have a big celebration, aren't we, Alex?
I would hope so.
Yeah. And apparently, how does that work? So when you hit apparently 50 episodes, algorithms start to pick it up differently and push it out there.
To some degree.
So we are really happy about 100. We know we're going to do some marketing around that. You're going to help us with that. Thank you so much. I feel that's really success.
Yeah.
That we've kept 4 volunteer hosts doing this work with, this is just my folder of guests. I've done
Yes.
40 some episodes, so you can imagine we've reached lots of people. And they've given their time to come and be guests and provide us with their information, talk about their stories, their skills, how they feel as older adults, the kinds of things they do to stay happy and healthy. We had somebody come in and say, we love to do yoga. She teaches yoga for people who are older. We have people to come in and just share their time with us over 3 years. That's a remarkable thing, I think.
Remarkable. And how do you get your ideas? And when you go on the air, not only do you do that, but how long is each show?
Each show is typically between a half hour and an hour. Folks generally aim for a half hour, and most episodes fall between 30 and 45 minutes maximum. It's pretty rare that it goes longer than that. But how do you get your ideas, Denise?
I don't know. Sometimes they just come to me.
Yeah.
Sometimes somebody will say, hey, I know somebody. You have to do a lot of connection. If you're really involved in the community, people come to you and now they're saying, hey, I'd like to be on your show. I just had somebody the other day, I was talking to somebody at a senior center and she said, I thought you wanted me to be on your show. And I said, oh yeah. 2 years ago, we were looking for people. It's how everything starts. Now people are coming to us and it's really great.
Well, I have a band, I think, that would love to come to you.
Okay,
cool.
and when are you available, Bonnie? Let us
That's
schedule
right.
that,
We
Alex.
do
Do we
that.
have studio time?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We always got time.
There's
Yeah.
always studio time, right?
Yeah.
We'd love to have you come and do that. That would
Wouldn't
be
that
really fun.
good?
That'd be very cool.
Because music,
Yep.
and I've talked to them, I have to say, I've talked to them before we started about music. Anyway,
Okay, we'll do
so
that
the
this
band
summer.
is there. I said, well,
Are you all older adults
huh?
in the band?
Not all.
That's fine.
Not all, but I think it's a mix and people love to do it. I mean, we have a young man who's an excellent percussionist and he is 20.
Fine.
Yeah.
How many people can we fit in the studio, Alex?
Well,
Quite a few, but we don't have the mics for everyone.
no, you don't have the mics. That's not how I'm visioning it. I'm visioning, a couple people, and then they're telling you why this is a good thing. And what there is right in the Greenfield area that is good for everyone.
Okay.
It's just right there.
You're on.
So let's review. Let's start
Okay.
again.
Yeah.
And where we've come from, I'm going to let you start this time, Alex.
Sure.
So what the program is and how people can give you a call and the number you're going to call, or is it all online? All those details, Alex. I'm giving
boy.
you 30 seconds to You see how that's working?
Well,
All right, go for it.
I can't recall the phone number, but I know the number that we provide at the end of every episode. If you listen through to the whole episode, there's a little outro that gives you a phone number you could call. It goes to Judy Raper's desk, the Associate Dean.
Do you
of
have that
Community
number, Judy?
Engagement.
I'm Denise.
This is Denise.
Judy, have it. Do you know
Judy
the
has
numbers?
it. I do not.
All right.
I'm not sure what the
so
number
that-
is just now. I don't know if Judy wants to shout it out. Could you shout out your phone number, your desk number? 775. It's 413-775-1819.
You know, especially with that group, I think phone is something you're familiar with.
Good
Yep.
point.
And then email would be Backyard Oasis Podcast @gmail.com. Yeah, that's how you'd primarily reach us. Or you can email me directly at my work email is audette@gcc.mass.edu. Yeah.
Perfect. All right, so that's the phone number, and you can call. This is the community college.
Yep, Greenfield Community College.
Even if you called there or emailed, they would send you to the right place, I'm sure.
I believe so. Yeah, I think.
They would send you.
Yeah, it's a small enough place. I think. Yeah, we'd be able to direct
And
you.
you don't have, because it is all for a broader scope, because you're making a podcast out of this, it doesn't matter where you're from.
No, not at all.
It
Absolutely.
doesn't.
And we can bring folks in remotely as well. We've had folks Zoom in.
Right.
I know one of our regular guests comes from Indiana, so we Zoom her in, and it's very easy to do and fun. I actually kind of enjoy it. So that's always, you don't need to be local if you want to be a part of the show.
Oh, let's tell her about we did 2 people who did Zoom in. One person is writing a book,
Yes.
and the title of the episode was Inside the Mind of a Killer. Now, I have to tell you, you're a host. I was a little concerned. We did this, it was wonderful. Since he was a child, he was interested in serial killers, and he's read about them, he's corresponded with them. It was really fascinating, and we had quite a few listeners to that one.
And if you love it, you'll be listening. If you say, this is too scary for me, you're
It
going to say,
actually wasn't. It was good.
I'll listen to
It's-
something else.
It was
It's
really lovely.
It's one of our more popular episodes. So it tells you something maybe about our listenership or the populace in general, but it is popular.
Absolutely. I'm going to ask you for those numbers again in a few minutes, because we only have a few minutes left.
Sure.
Yep.
But we want to talk about what else. Where else do you get your ideas? Or can't you tell me about your ideas that are right there in your brain?
It's sort of like what we do in our day. So I do other volunteer work with an organization called Life Path, and we look at how to develop, age-friendly communities. And so we've had 2 or 3 episodes about how to work with your town to ensure that older adults are included in all the plans that towns make about benches in parks and those sorts of things. You know that.
Yeah, we'll often have repeat guests.
We'll
just
have
because,
repeat guests?
Yeah, because like halfway through the first episode we do, we'll be like, I think we really would like to have you back.
Well, I went
Yeah.
to see a digital navigator because I got one of those pop-ups on my laptop that told me that if I didn't do something really soon, everything in the world was going to, fall apart.
Oh, yes, very scary.
So there's a digital navigator who's available in many areas around us, and I spoke with him, and suddenly it was like, this is just what we need for our show. And believe me, he had great tips. I think his show is going to be several episodes. We did one yesterday. I think we're going to do another one with him, because older adults he's done more than 1,000 meetings with older adults in and around Franklin County to help them with their digital situations. A lot of that is medical portals, things like that. So that's where it came
need
from.
it
I
all the
needed
time.
help. Oh, you would be
Yes.
great for our show.
So we want to make sure people know what to do, how to get there to Backyard Oasis. Look at this. We are ready at AOTV. We are ready to help you out. These are the directions, and they will make sure that those connections are just what you need.
It's beautiful.
Isn't that pretty? Backyard Oasis, the things that you want to know and how to get there. 105.9 FM is how you get there, and then you go from there. Backyard Oasis Podcast. That's the 3 words, Backyard Oasis Podcast. Thank you very much for making this happen. Thank you for our executive director, Liz, for making that happen.
Yeah, thank you, Liz.
And they are airing, according to my information,
Sure.
At 8 p.m. on Mondays and Fridays.
It's nice.
8 p.m. on Mondays and Fridays.
Prime time.
And 7 a.m. on Wednesdays.
Awesome.
So got that? Backyard Oasis. And the information how you can get there.
I love it. It looks great. We're
And
so happy to be with you.
And if you have ideas, our listening audience has ideas that they say, oh, I think I could help talk about.
Sure, sure.
You need to call those numbers that we've mentioned now. We've mentioned those numbers at 413-775-1819.
Yep.
Tell them who you are, and I think my material is good for a podcast.
Yep.
Absolutely. That's
Is
great.
that
We'd
the way
love
to
to
do
have
it?
more people from this area be on the show.
They could even, if they're interested in working with a particular host as well, they could mention that. So if someone really wants to have an episode with Denise, they're a big fan of her work or something, they can always mention that.
And there are 4 different people.
Yes.
There's multiple,
we
yeah.
Yes. Should we name them?
Yeah, we have Christine Copeland. She's incredible. Dennis Lee no longer hosts with the show, but he was a big part of the show for a while. We have Henry Balzerini. He's relatively new to the show, but he's been an excellent addition. Denise Schwartz, of course.
Chad Fuller.
And we have Chad Fuller. He kind of functions a little differently. He kind of likes to work a little more out of his home and like kind of have conversations. He doesn't come into the studio as much, but that's something we can work out as well if that's what you're interested in.
And then Judy Raper.
And Judy Raper.
She's also a host.
Yep.
And so do people come in with an idea already? Do they come in? Do they call with an idea?
People come in because we have conversations with them, and then it works pretty much the way you do. Most of us send our guests a prompt sheet, tells them what the flow is going to be like so that they can be prepared, and then we have a conversation about it so that they don't walk in and go, oh, what are we going to talk about? We make it really easy peasy. People they don't have to be intimidated. I go over it with my guests before we get into the studio. I go over what we're going to talk about based on the information they gave me back about what they would like to say. That's how we craft the conversation, just the way you're doing it. And they sit down, we have a conversation, we do the sound checks, we laugh about how we sound or we don't sound. And Alex edits everything so that we sound really good when we're done. And knowing that Alex can, you know how you do the editing, really makes guests feel comfortable. Some of them say, well, what if I have to cough? And you say, don't worry about this. We make it so easy. You cough, we stop. You'll never hear that. You're going to sound great.
We'll just take care of it.
And let me just say one thing. I know we're running out of time. You know what is really satisfying? And Alex he's always there, so he hears this. When we're done with our session, the guests usually go, that was really fun.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I am so glad to have you here today.
Thank you. Yeah.
And you've summed it up so nicely. I'm going to show the numbers locally one more time. So you've got it. Yeah. And so people, if you want to be a guest or you just want to know more about, you contact those numbers and we've got it. It has been a pleasure to have you here today.
Thank you.
It's been so much fun.
Do you want to have, yeah, that's right, that's what it is. Do you have closing wrap-up words for us? Go ahead.
Call us so that you can be a guest on Backyard Oasis Podcast.
Perfect. Alex?
Yeah, I just hope you enjoy the show, listen, and thanks for tuning into this. And yeah, absolutely.
We are so glad that you've been at AOTV.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
So, I'm Bonnie Benjamin, and we want to thank our guests today for our enlightening process, our enlightening guests about these podcasts coming right here to our town. And I think that relationship will be great, and you'll be able to have lots of chances to do that. Remember, you're you're watching AOTV13.org, or maybe you're listening to WVAO on station 105.9. We're glad to have you with us. You can do your favorite streaming now, or if you get stuck, call us at 978-249-4470. This is Bonnie Benjamin. Thank you for watching Shining Lights.